Hey folks, what's going on? How you doing? It is Coach Gav here from Training for Warriors Kildare. So today is a pretty cool day. It is World Mental Health Day. So what that is, well, it's pretty clear. It's the one day a year that's been marked or put aside to raise awareness or to celebrate World Mental Health Day and the importance of it. Now, unlike most of these days that pop up every day at this rate, by the looks of it, this is something that is pretty cool. For those of you who know me reasonably well or well enough, you know I'm pretty skeptical on all this kind of stuff. You know, it was International Coffee Day the other day and things like that. And you're kind of going, yeah, all right, kind of that's just a ploy to get people to drink more coffee. This, however, is something that's pretty close to my heart for a number of reasons. Hence why we're doing the video. So as you can see on the screen here, it basically starts off with me and mental health because it starts with me. And by me, I also mean you. So when it comes to our health and fitness, people automatically go to the gym. You know, how fast am I? How strong am I? How quick am I? How much can I lift? How far can I run or how fast can I run? Things like that. And they're all perfectly good indicators of how healthy you are. However, we can see when people are overweight. We can see when people are underweight. We can see when people are ill. You can even see when people are emotionally unhealthy. But we can't always see when people are mentally unhealthy. And that's where things get tricky. Because just because you can't see the illness or just because you can't see the symptoms or if you can't see the signs doesn't mean it's not there, and it doesn't mean it's not as serious as the physical issues. And oftentimes, if there's a physical health issue, usually a mental or emotional one comes alongside it with it as well. So, in this video, I will talk about my journey, about kind of what I've been doing to kind of work with it and to deal with it. Some of it may work for you, some of it may not work for you. Some of it you will take, or you'll take the moral of the story and apply it in your own way and get the same result. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day once you use this video as a starting point. And I don't care if it's this video or another video or a blog post you read or something that causes you to go, you know what, I'm going to take this on and I'm going to conquer it. Because once you go and do it, that's all that really matters. So let's get rock and roll. Mental health can often be like a transformer, and by that I mean Optimus Prime or Megatron. So talking about the movies and the toys here, folks. It is often a robot in disguise. For those of you who don't know, that's the tagline from the film. Transformers, robots in disguise. Free song for you. So, but back to the topic at hand here. So, mental health issues. The cause of them can come in any form. It can come at any time, and it can come not necessarily when you're at your lowest of lows, and come when you're at your highest of highs and wipe you out of it. It can hit anyone at any stage, and it can make no rhyme or reason at all. Okay, there doesn't have to be a reason for it to happen. It just happens. Now, what are we going to do about it? The symptoms, as we said earlier, they can manifest or they can show themselves in a variety of ways. Some people mask them up really well. Others, people, you can see a big change in them as they go along. And the solution to these things, the solution can be anything. It can come in any order. It can be done in any order at all. You know, it can come from anyone, and it can come at any time at all. There's no set window or set period of time where, okay, after this much time, this will happen, or if I go and see this person, this will work for me, or if I do what they said, this will work and I'll be cured, okay? So we're going to rewind back to the top just a little bit here. So we're now October of 2016. So back in January of 2016, actually we'll go a little further back, October of 2015, myself and my girlfriend of the time, we got a house together. We moved in together. It was my first time to move out of my mom's house, first time to move in with somebody, and it was really cool. It was a great experience, and it was something I looked forward to an awful lot. However, on the surface, you wouldn't have known that I looked forward to it an awful lot. At the same time, while myself and Emily moved in together, the gym that I was running, the facility that I was running, had just turned a year old, and I'm a one man show at the moment and had been at the time. And like most young businesses, we were struggling, and we were struggling to find our footing and to find our place in the world. And it put an awful lot of pressure. I'm 29 now, so I would have been 28 at the time. As I said, myself and Emily had moved in together. Freya, my daughter, was 3 going on 4 at the time, and just life was kind of what it was. You have all your bills as normal and things like that then as well, and you have the desire to take weekends away here, have trips here, go to the cinema here, go for coffee, go for lunch, all these different things. So while on the surface, the people that looked at my situation, at Gavin Coyne's situation back in October of 2015, they're like, oh, Gav's got it going pretty good. He's got himself, he's got his girl by his side, they've got a lovely house together, they're moving in, they're moving on with their lives, he's got a wonderful daughter, he's got this awesome gym, it seems to be growing, moving well, he's a good guy, he's a good coach, he's moving on, helping people change lives, he's a part of the TFW movement, and things seem to be going pretty good. However, now I can look back and I can look at me back then and I can tell you things weren't good. I struggled an awful lot with it. Myself and Emily, we kind of were, the two of us lived off of one income, and that's not anything unique or anything rare. A lot of people, a lot of you guys and girls watching this now are doing the same thing. You and your partner are turning over every rock and stone that you can to provide for one another and provide for your families or your kids or to provide for your future. What had happened was, at the time, to steal a phrase from Garrett J. White of the Wake Up Warrior movement, I was trying to succeed by hitting home runs every time, when all I had to do was simply hit singles. So that's a baseball phrase. Hitting a home run, you hit it, it goes all the way at the park, it's an automatic score. But you can also succeed by hitting singles. So singles is when you move around all the bases in the baseball park, and once you get around all 4 of them, you get the same point. You don't get more points for a home run than a single. Home runs are flashier and they're quicker. Singles take time, but they still count for the exact same thing. So as time went on, then we fast forward to February of this year, and what had happened was, myself and Emily, we broke up again, and I've covered all of that already before. And but to be fair, given it's a key date, it's a key section in kind of in my addressing of the mental health side of things. So after myself and Emily broke up, I did a couple of things. Okay, I did what my default was, and I threw myself into the gym. We just moved facilities from outside in Tokers into the Newbridge Industrial Estate where we are at the moment, and I threw myself at it. I was there morning, noon, and night. You still are, Gav. But back then, I was there because I was afraid to be anywhere else. I was afraid to be at home. I was afraid to be out with my guys, out with the lads. Because in the gym, they were my 4 walls. They were my sanctuary or my sanctity, I suppose, whatever the phrase is for it. And I had to get it done. It was so important. I had to get the gym back open. We couldn't be closed for an extra few days because, oh my God, the whole world will end. It didn't. The world didn't end, but part of my world did. So like I said, so it's because of like these were all small decisions that all kind of rounded up and compounded together then as well. And I want to pause for a second here. My story isn't actually important, because you can just substitute my daughter for your son or daughter, my partner for your partner, my gym for your job or your business or whatever it is. You substitute those parts, put in your parts, and then you may see similarities cross over. So this isn't about you guys sitting there and watching this going, oh my God, Jesus, do you know what Gavin went through? It's not. It's going, okay, wait a minute. How does this guy's situation relate to mine? What can I learn from it? And how do we move on? So anyways, back in March then as well, like I said, I hit rock bottom. I hit the ground hard, and my life as I knew it back then took a complete 180. How I was as a father wasn't great. Yes, I was there with my daughter, but I wasn't present. I wasn't fully present, giving her my undivided attention, and that's important. Um, Even my relationship with her mom, with my ex, my relationship with my own family, my relationship with my friends, they were all different things. And then at the time, it built and built and built, and I was like, okay, I have to address this. So I addressed it in a couple of ways. I addressed it in private. I went to see a good friend of mine, and I took some counselling. It was always counselling may not be for everybody. It is for me. I enjoy it because it has me look at things from a different perspective. So that was one thing that I found really beneficial. Um, and we'll come to that in the next couple of slides in terms of what did I do to get over it. But what I'm trying to get across here is that on the surface, in the gym, during the sessions, no one knew what I was going through. And part of me, like the businessman in me or the coach in me, is going, oh, that's a good thing because you're there to coach people. You are not there to reflect leave your negativity at the door. And for a lot of the time I did. But the problem was I left my negativity at the door and I stayed inside the door and I never addressed it. I just left it there and I ran past it really quickly, got in the car, drove home, and then drove back. And my routine for so many days and so many weeks, it was I got up early, got in the car, drove to work, took all the sessions, did some more renovations, pretended to be busy. I was busy, but I wasn't productive. And that was because I was ducking and dodging what I had to address. And the business started to suffer even more than it already was. And that just compounded the issue. It multiplied the problem. It made me feel even worse about myself, or it made me feel worse in myself. And I was kind of going, this cannot be happening. After everything was gone, it just felt like, this had happened, then this had happened, then this had happened. And I get it. I get where you are or where you may have been. I've had that hopelessness feeling, that feeling where you kind of go, right, what are my options? And you kind of go, oh wow. And I know there are a lot of people out there who when it comes to that phrase of what are my options, they'll go a step further than I probably would. I'm very thankful I never got to the stage where I considered doing anything long lasting. We all get what we're talking about here. So I never got to that stage. However, it was at the stage where I knew change was needed. And not just change, big change. As more as good pal of mine would say, radical change. Because I was 29, Freya was 4. Well, we still are. Freya was 4. She was approaching big school. Things were moving on. The gym it's a kind of a, okay, this is do or die. And you're kind of going, right, there has to be more to life here. So that's what had happened. Nobody knew what was going on. And then I put a video out at the time where I pulled the curtains back. And I pulled the curtains back because because I know that if I'm going through this situation, that somebody out there is going through similar or worse. And then I'm going to put out there the support because you never know who's going to see it. And maybe they will see it and go, oh, thank God, I'm not alone. It's not just me. Someone else is feeling that way too. And they're getting better. They've gotten over it, whatever the case may be. So that was kind of it. Like, and the symptoms for me, like I said, was I threw myself into work. I became a workaholic, even though I was doing nothing productive. You'll see how really well painted our walls are. That's because I spent hours doing them and doing the logos and doing these different things and like all that kind of crack. But so I threw myself into a lot of stuff without actually addressing it. Squirreled myself away. I became even more of a recluse than I was, and so kind of, and that's what had happened there as well. So the solution was I had to. For me, sometimes when things were rough mentally, it felt like I was. There was a UFC fight, an MMA fight in the UFC years ago, And I remember the guy was getting absolutely wailed on. So he was just against the cage, and the dude was just whack, 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 just completely overwhelming him with punches. And then all of a sudden, the guy who was being punched, he blocked one. And then he blocked the second. And he blocked the third. And after he blocked the third, he got his own punch back. He still had to block a few more, but then he got another couple of punches in. For all you guys watching my technique there, I apologize. I know it's not exactly, this is not a good way to punch someone. But you get the idea. I felt like I was in the corner and just having life, all the areas of my life. It wasn't just one area that was bad. It was a lot of areas were bad. Just wailing on me. Whack, whack, whack. And then I started to block a couple things. I caught my breath. I said that really weirdly. I caught my breath. I looked up. I landed a punch. Blocked a few more. Landed a couple more punches. And I started making progress. And that's what you see on the screen here. Pick one area and make some progress. Just even a little. Even if right now, as you sit there, you're going, this guy is patronizing as hell. Here I am at my lowest, feeling like a zero. Feeling like I'm an absolute failure. Feeling like nothing I do is good enough. Feeling like nothing is ever going to go my way. Oh, I never get the lucky break. Okay? Just even for a moment. Make a little bit of progress. And just even for a moment, feel the difference of the situation. Take on board what it feels like when things are going your way, when things are going in your favor, when you're making success happen, when you're turning the tide. I've never done drugs in my life, but I imagine that that's what doing like ecstasy or whatever the party drugs are, ecstasy and ketamine and that. That's what I imagine it feels like, where you get that, yes, all right, scratch one up for the good guys. All right, I enjoy that feeling. Wouldn't mind feeling it more regularly. And then you start to turn the tide a little bit. So again, you can see there, you can try and go physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, socially, occupationally. They're all the different areas just that I thought when I was addressing my issues. It was like, okay, well, what can I do to make myself feel better? And I started with physically. I wanted to be physically better. I had gotten out of shape. I had lost whatever strength I had. My lifts were really poor. My training was really inconsistent. I didn't even look at a hockey stick. I didn't even look at the weights. Even though I spent all my time in the gym, I never once lifted them. I never did anything, and it was really weird because not doing that stuff made me feel worse because I'm a coach and I'm kind of going, hey, you guys come and train. Here's what's going to happen in your life. It's going to get real good real quick. But yet I wasn't doing it. And then I felt bad because I was a hypocrite. And what was even worse is I was a secret hypocrite. And then if you look back on some of our videos from, say, the first 5 or 6 months of 2016, you'll see how bad my skin was, in particular my eyes. And I had to go and address that. So I enjoy the feeling of strong, of being strong, of the feeling of strength, to being strong. I'm not a massive guy. I'm not too sure if many of you have met me in person. I'm not exactly huge. I'm not The Rock. However, compared to who I was 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 9, 12 months ago, I'm in a completely different place. Right now, I'm probably physically the best I've ever been. Still carrying a little bit of winter weight around the midriff, but we're working on it. And the funny thing is, even that there, abs to me don't actually mean anything at all. Yeah, great, whatever, abs, cool. But to me, to be strong, to have a good physical body, to perform well in my lifts in the gym, I get a serious kick out of it then as well. And just the adrenaline kicks in. And then as time went on and I trained consistently, I trained probably maybe 4 to 5 times a week of a mix between the work I do in the facility and then also some hockey work then as well. So I started addressing that then as well because I wanted to feel better. And I knew that training was something I could pick up quite easily. I had to start off just doing a little bits here and there. I did all the big lifts. I didn't do all the important little accessory stuff. But as time went on, I started gradually doing more and more. And now, you'll be hard pushed to find anyone as consistent as me. And what's really cool about that is the people that I train have noticed the difference, and they have, by some miracle or some weird coincidence, have upped their game also as well. And they too are really kind of upping their game. They're kind of going, all right, Gav's getting stuck in. All right, I want to surpass him. I want to kind of lift as good, if not better than him. And it's cool. And then a couple of weeks ago, I said, right, physically, we're doing good here. Let's look at the nutrition, because I want to improve how I was health-wise. And now I'm gradually changing my nutrition. So, and I'm just doing that one meal at a time. So as you see there, progress, or pick one and progress even little. Having one healthy meal a day is better by a country mile at least than having no healthy meals a day. I am not saying, actually, under no circumstances should you go from having 0 healthy meals a day to jumping all the way and having 100% everything that goes in my mouth is healthy. Because that's not sustainable. You'll fall back off the wagon, maybe even further, and then you're going to feel like crap again. Oh, tried healthy eating. That's not for me. Sure, I failed the last time. Put on a load of weight. That was a waste. Build yourself up for success. Remember the analogy about the fight. Block, 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 punch. Okay? What do you need to start blocking in your life? And then land that punch. And keep blocking, land another punch. And keep blocking. So don't be trying to land a knockout every time you do it. So you see, all of to touch on the other areas kind of briefly, emotionally, started working on that then as well. As I mentioned, I started taking counseling sessions. I started reaching out to friends of mine who were in similar situations. Reached out to a good friend of mine in the UK who has been an absolute cornerstone of it all. And most importantly, actually before I go there, I reached out to two very close friends of mine back home here, who and they know who they are, so there's no need for me to mention them. So I reached out to them and reconnected with them, because when I looked back over the timeline of my life, I was like, when did I last feel emotionally solid and spiritually solid? And I was like, oh yeah, wait a minute. It's when I was doing these things with these people. I was going, okay, well, let's reconnect. Let's go for tea. Let's go for coffee. Let's go for dinner, and just start talking to them then as well. Because around these two men in particular, I could be myself, and that enabled me, that empowered me to grow. And most importantly, I reconnected with my family in a big way, and it's still an ongoing process. So I started just kind of working on those relationships, because I'm a family guy at the end of the day. And family is everything to me. The people in my gym are my family. The people I live with are obviously my family. The people I've grown close to, they're also family. So I've probably expressed more through this than I have directly with them, and so it's still an ongoing progress. It's still an area of work, and I don't think it'll ever get to the stage where it's like full disclosure, or something will happen here and then immediately I go and address it with or discuss it with a family member or people that are close to me. And you may never get to that stage as well. Till the day I die, I think this will be an ongoing thing that you will always have to work on. It's like your health. It's like to be healthy, you can't just eat really well in your 20s and expect to that'll carry me over till I'm 50, 60 or whatever. There's consistency to it, folks. Spiritually as well, look, I'm a Catholic, I'm a Christian. I'm not as practicing as I was, but I'm getting back to a manageable level. So whatever you're into, and if it enables you to feel strong and to feel empowered, then yeah, go for it. Also occupationally, it can be tough. I love being a coach. I love being a coach nearly as much as being a dad, and I adore being a dad. So that's how much I love coaching. I get a serious buzz out of it. Again, it's like a drug to me to see people overcome their hurdles, and to have a small part in that is a pretty big kick for me. So if you're struggling work-wise, it's not realistic to sit here and go, oh yeah, just quit your job and get a job you love doing. That's not really doable, because yes, bills need paying and all those kind of things. Um, but what I would say is try and find something about your job you love, the people you work with, a certain aspect of your job that you really, "Oh, I really love I love when I do this," or something you can go in and you enjoy, so you're not constantly going, "Oh, sweet Jesus, it's Monday," "Oh, for the love of God, Tuesday already, Jesus," and then, "Oh, Wednesday, hump day, almost there." That shouldn't be the cycle of your week. It really, where it's like Monday's crap, Tuesday's not a whole lot better, hump day, yeah, all right, Thursday, all right, lads, we're almost there, Friday, sweet, roll on 5 o'clock and then we're free. Shouldn't be like that. Shouldn't. So, how it all unfolded for me. Talking, what a shock. But not just talking. Talking to other people was a big help for me. Speaking to the right people as well was also important. Because while I wanted to go and find a solution and to get things off of my head and my chest and my heart, I had to find the right people to talk to. People that I was close to, or people that I could get close to. And it was a strange balance because I couldn't just go and disclose everything. It's a hard thing to explain, but I hope that kind of somehow makes sense. I couldn't just go and blab to Freya's mom about a load of stuff because we're not that close where they'd be aware of all these things that are going on in life. So, but so while it was handy to go and address it, and again it improved mentally because it's like the scene in Harry Potter in the fifth one, the Order of the Phoenix, I think, where he takes the wand and he pulls his memories out of his head and he puts it in the bowl, the pensive, where he puts his thoughts in that, and he can step back and look at his thoughts from above, and he can kind of get more clarity about them then as well. So for me, talking to other people, writing notes in my phone, writing notes in my journal, writing things down, all provided certain levels of kind of mental clarity, which was cool because it freed up space in my mind and in my being to go and to do the other things that I had to do to keep rebuilding my life. And that's what it was. You're sitting here looking and listening to Christ. You're not listening, you're not sitting and listening and looking at Christ. You're probably looking at the fourth, fifth, sixth variation of me. And even this year, this is probably my second or third time to rebuild. I had that initial rebuild back in March, probably it was April by the time I got my head out of my arse. So around April, I said, right, enough's enough. Got to get going here. End of May, start of June, had another one, and it's kind of a constant evolution. It's like with your house here. Excuse me. It's like with your house when you do your renovations. You won't necessarily do every room all at once. You'll do one room and then on to the next one and on to the next one, on to the next one. And then by the time you come around, there may be a little bit of kind of time where there's no changes, and then you go change, 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 or you'll just change elements of each room. And that's what it's like when you're changing yourself, when you're improving yourself. And change isn't a bad thing, change is a good thing. Because who I am now will not be who I need to be a year from now, 2 years from now, pardon me, when the business is growing even further. Who I was back when I was 25, 26, 27, 28 was not who I had to be. I had to change from that person to be where I am now. As Freya gets older, I have to get better and change at being a father. I have to keep up to date, and so I'm still in touch with all the different things. Now that she started back to school, I've had to start going back and I've had to relearn the alphabet. Not because I don't know how to read or write, but because they teach it differently. So for me to help her with her homework as best I can, I'm going and relearning the alphabet how she's learning it, and I'll do the same for Irish and math as well. So when she comes home, instead of going, "Oh, sure, I don't know, we didn't do it that way when I was young," and completely dating myself, I can kind of go, "Oh yeah, it's like this." Simple things, okay? So I completely went off track there. It's still talking. So Harry Potter pulls ideas out. You can look at it, frees you up to do more stuff. And while talking was good, talking to the people directly involved with the situations that cause you problems or issues, That's the big key. That's unlocking stuff, okay? So again, myself and my ex, we split and things like that then as well. And talking to her was a big help. It was hard to do. It was a little bit late in some aspects, but it was very important for the two of us because we got to speak to each other. Because at the end of the day, having friends and family to support is awesome. However, being able to talk to the person directly involved will bring a level of clarity that you can't get when you talk to other people. And because as much as my friends helped me as kind of going, yeah, that's great, kind of they weren't the ones that I had the argument with. They weren't the ones that I broke up with. So if you can, if there's somebody you're working with and you're fighting, address it with them. Find what the mutual grounding is. Find what the bridge to move forward is. So when you go into work, you're not like, oh Jesus, Mary's working today. Good God, I do not want to work with her. Or there's not like, your one in school or your man in school. And, oh yeah, she's all well and good for you, Gav. You don't have to live with the consequences. That's where you're wrong. Because I live with the consequences every day. And if I didn't address these things, I did go and address these things because at the time, it's all I thought about. It consumed my mental space pretty much every free second I had. If I wasn't coaching somebody or I wasn't studying work-wise, I was thinking about this particular person and what was going on. I was like, I need to address that. I didn't know what the solution would be. I just knew I had to address it. Because there is a certain level of freedom in life where you can kind of go, you know what? I've done everything I can do. And that's the same across the board with everybody in my life. With Freya, with Freya's mom, with my family, with my friends, with things like that then as well. When you kind of go, when you can rest easy going, you know what? I genuinely am trying my best. But that's all you can do, guys. It's when I'd have you consider that just because the result doesn't go your way, that's not the issue. That's not what makes us feel bad. What makes us feel bad or feel down is when you go, shit. Sorry. Crap. I could have tried better. I could have done more. I could have said this. I could have said that. The reality is, life is so short. I could die tonight. This isn't getting grim. This is just putting it all out there in the big picture. I could die tonight. So it's very important for me that, I heard something beep there. It's very important for me that the people in my life know how I feel about them and things like that then as well. So what I'm saying is, don't be like, I'll address it tomorrow. No, address it now. If something is causing you anxiety, don't leave it running. Like, I've had to address things with people, like people I was doing business with, and they kind of, something bad happened, we addressed it, and now we no longer talk. And that's fine. The issue's been addressed and we move on. You most likely won't go and address an issue. Let's say you have a problem with someone in school or school or work. You still might not like the person, but at least you've addressed that issue and say, okay, you know what? Grand. We work together. We have a basic level of respect. That's fine. We're not going to be swapping Christmas cards. Okay? So yeah, so here we are here on the screen. So often it's not a conversation when you talk to other people. You can write a letter, you can send an email, you can just be like, hey, here's what I'm thinking, here's what I'm feeling, got to get it off my chest. And there may never be a reply. And that's okay. Because like I just said, sometimes for you and for me, it's just as important, or the main thing is to get it off your chest so you can sit easy going, you know what? I try my best. My 100 absolute level best. Next up, I started doing things. I stopped stopping and I tackled the issues one at a time. I took on the ones that I thought were the easiest, which I talked about. I started training again. I started reading books again, fiction books in particular. I didn't go straight into like work, study stuff. I started reading stuff that was easy to read, so that I was like, oh, nice one. Finish the book. Finish the second book. Happy days. I didn't take on these really big books and be like, this is taking me forever, because that would probably make me feel like crap a little bit. So also, as you see there, kind of when you feel at your absolute lowest, taking on things that are the easiest is a relative term. Okay, it's a relative concept. Because everything seemed near impossible to me. I may as well have been dealing with quantum physics. Okay, so there is something in your life that you can go, you know what, I'm going to take that on right now, and I'm going to feel real good about myself after I do it. Or you know what, I may not even know I'll feel good. I'm just going to go and do it. I reckon I'll feel good after it. We'll see what happens if we go from there. So you do one thing, you feel good. So then you go and you do it again. Oh, you feel good again. And you keep repeating that process until doing this thing is a part of your daily routine. It's like breathing, it's like sleeping, it's like eating. It's a part of your routine. Which also means that good feeling that comes along with it is also part of your daily routine. Okay? Next, connecting. So I lost contact with myself, the real me, not the me I changed into. So what I mean by that is that, you know, what's the best way to try and describe it now? I'm just conscious of time here, folks. I don't want to ramble too much. Oh, Christ alive. Right, okay, whoops. Oh, what have I done here? Should have just put a separate clock at the side of the computer. Would have been a play from current slide. Did I do it? Yeah, there we go. So connecting, lost contact with myself. As I said, yes, we do have to change as we go and as we grow older in life. However, what can happen is though, temporarily I changed into this version of me that I didn't even like. So how in God's name was anyone else going to like me? Because like I mentioned earlier, I became obsessed with hitting all those home runs, trying to succeed with every single thing I did, trying to win big every single time, and that's just not doable. So instead of winning small, winning consistently, and winning in multiple areas of my life, I got so focused and so drilled in on one area. I wasn't even being productive or being effective at what I was doing in that area. I was completely spinning my wheels. So I was like, I'm spending all my time and effort and energy on this one thing, hoping that when this works, it was the gym, by the way, hoping that when this works, the rest of my life will get better automatically because this will be fine. And then I can turn my attention to everything else in my life and address that too. And not only did that not happen, because when I was working on the gym, I was doing things so poorly that it was going backwards instead of forwards. Yeah, yeah. Wait till you see my autobiography in years to come. The first 2 years of business are a laugh. Okay, so when that happened, I wasn't me, and anyone who knows me can absolutely back me up on that. And it wasn't nice. And becoming that person led me to make decisions that have impacted the rest of my life. And yeah, I'm talking about a breakup, and I'm talking about moving home and everything as well. And it is tough. So connecting with yourself is important. Knowing who you are, knowing what you stand for, knowing what you believe in is important. And don't get me wrong, yeah, I still deal with the same stress and pressure every day. The gym's not gone anywhere. It's stabilizing and growing, thankfully. And then as it grows, more pressure will come in because when we get more people, we have to give them the exact same quality service we have when we've had, when you have 100 people, they got to get the same qualities when you have 10 people. And that's why we do things differently in our place. So that's quite a huge thing. So, like, kind of connecting with yourself is big. And, some of these things I'll probably come back to in later videos because I'm quite conscious of, I don't want to take up too much of your time. So if you've stayed and watched this far, thank you so much. And I hope something here has resonated with you. Do something you love every day. In some capacity, in some element of your life, do something you love every single day. I'm back coaching hockey now that the schools are back open. I'll head down half an hour beforehand before the girls come training just to go and practice. And the lads at the weekend can back me up here. I need a lot of practice. I also love it. I'm not massively good at hockey, but I really love it. So I love doing that. Even little things. I've started noticing. I started kind of falling, getting back into wrestling again, the old WWF. Just because it was a big part of my childhood, and it was good. It's harmless fun, and it's something. It's, a lot of the guys that hang around, we all watch it, so we all have we have a bit of a laugh at it then as well. Just these different things. Like I said, I'm back reading as well. Most importantly, I'm back properly talking to friends of mine and to family. So go and do things you love. It shouldn't be a case of, you know, kind of. I like even at the weekend we had a match at 1:30 and we had a full panel. I was like, sure, I won't go up. And I was like, no, well, sure, look, I've got the weekend off. I'll go up. And I'm glad I went up because I ended up actually playing a decent amount of game time. And I was buzzing. And just like I might see the guys once every 2 weeks or whatever it is, and it's great. It's great atmosphere. It's great camaraderie. It's great being around such a team, and the welcome I got. I hadn't played in 2 years, and the welcome I got when I came back, it meant the absolute world to me. So go and do things that you love doing, even if it's just inviting your friends and family over for a cup of tea in the afternoon when the kids are in school or whatever. Just stop doing the housework for a few minutes. Stop chasing around. Stop trying to reinvent whatever. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel, okay? There's plenty of time for you to sit down and catch up with your friends, catch up with yourself, catch up with your loved ones. Leave the TV off. Leave the radio off. Christ, like I was listening to the radio today and the very first thing was a rape case. Oh yeah, but God, that's the real world. All that stuff happens. I'm not saying live a sheltered life. I'm just saying surround yourself directly with stuff that makes you feel good, with people that you love. Yeah? Because even when you do that, enough things will go wrong to make you feel a little bad. You don't need to openly welcome on board more bad stuff that goes, oh Jesus, God, the world we live in. Okay? When it's darkest, please remember this, and I hope that at least one person finds solace in one of these two things. A little on top of a little will always add up to a lot. If you're struggling with debt, if you're struggling with bills, paying them off a little at a time, it will add up and you will clear them. If you're trying to reconnect with yourself, doing it a little every day will add up to being a lot. If you're trying to improve in your relationship with your sons and daughters, working on it a little by little will add up to a lot. If you're trying to improve your relationship with your brothers or your sisters or your parents, again, investing in that little by little will add up to a big change. If you're investing with your loved ones, with your boyfriends, with your girlfriends, trying to sort through arguments or whatever it is, okay? A little on top of a little will add up to a lot. Okay? If you're trying to change your training, doing it a little on top of a little is going to lead to a lot. Trying to lose weight, trying to change your health, trying to improve your health with your eating, a little on top of a little adds up to a lot. Okay? And what's the best way to eat an elephant, my friends? One baby bite at a time. Just sit down, take your knife and fork out, work your way through it. Because right now, for those of you who feel like you're stuck in a corner and there's an elephant blocking your way out, and on the other side of that elephant is happiness, come grab a seat beside me. We'll eat our elephants together. So, yeah, even now, even though, yeah, things look good. You see I'm wearing my brand new Nickelback t-shirt. Was at the concert last night. I wasn't even going to go yesterday. I had a rough day yesterday. I just wasn't feeling good. I was feeling down. And I texted my cousin. I was like, yeah, dude, look, I'm just not going to go. I'm so happy I went. I had an absolute blast. It was so good to get out. And you know what? Maybe that's just your start point. Go find your favorite band or your favorite artist. Pick out your favorite song. Put that on loud. Just listen to it. And just let the positive emotions just flow over you as you go along. All right, folks, I'm going to wrap it up here. If at any stage anyone out there just needs a soundboard, just needs someone to vent to, our inbox is totally open. The gym is open for you to come in. Everything is absolutely confidential. And, you know, despite how well I've just spoken for 40 odd minutes, I'm a real good listener. And sometimes just having someone that will listen to you is hugely important. No matter what age you are. People look at me, 28, 29, he shouldn't be depressed. He shouldn't be feeling like that. Sure, what's he got to be depressed over? Don't judge a book by its cover. I'm not going to judge you. Whatever you got going on, you got going on. What's bringing you down may not bring me down. What's bringing me down may not matter to you at all. But at the end of the day, knowing that we are there for each other as a race, as a global community, that's huge. The amount of phone calls I've made to friends of mine in the States for support is ridiculous. That's why my phone bill's so high. But like, it's huge. So yeah, you may not be able to reach out to somebody that's 5 feet next to you, but there's a place in Newbridge you can come down and chat. I may not know you, I may never know you, but if you just need to come down and get it off your chest or whatever, like, yeah, go for it. I'm not a counselor. I'm not offering counseling. I'm just offering a soundboard. Or you may know somebody that's out there. Or go and Google find out what services are available in Newbridge for people who do need help. And get it. The worst thing about needing help is not going and getting it. Christ alive. If you're sitting there with your leg hanging off, you're not going to go, it's fine, I'll walk it off. It could be worse. You could have no legs. That's an in-house joke for our crew. But like, yeah, go and get it done. Whatever the issue is, just address it. What's the worst that could happen? Like, if you feel bad at the moment and you try and address something and it doesn't work out, you end up where you started. You're no worse off. But I guarantee you, if you go and address the things that are causing you issues, you will gradually progress on. Guys, thank you for your time. I did not intend on going on for so long. I'll try and get this up. Well, if you're watching this, it's up on YouTube. Like I said, guys, it's not just for one day. It's for multiple days. Go and look after yourselves. Go and look after each other. We need to do more for ourselves as individuals. We need to do more for each other as a community as well. That's it. Take care of yourselves. God bless. Bye. Now to find the stop button. Stop.